Welcome. This is Maria. She was on an expedition with us not so long ago. Maria, tell us a little bit about where you are and what you're doing now with life.
So I graduated last year with my BSc majoring in physiology and genetics at Stellenbosch. And I'm still in Stellenbosch. I've just started my honors in physiology. I was in res for the first 3 years of for my undergrad. And I was served on the house committee. I was the head of the mentor body. I was also a mentor in my second year. Yeah, learned a lot through leadership and obviously graduated with my degree, graduated cum laude. So yay. So yeah, I've learned a lot. I've come a long way. And this trip that we're going to be talking about definitely helped me along the way in learning some pivotal life skills. So we can get into that.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. It's been amazing to watch your career and how you've developed along the way. So congratulations. And I know it's not a finished journey yet, so we'll keep watching.
Yeah.
Take us back to before you even signed up for that expedition. Were there any nerves? Were you excited? What were the feelings like? And did that progress as you went?
Well, when this opportunity came up, I was in grade 10, and I had just come back from a trip to the US and the UK to visit some family and friends, and I think the travel bug had bitten. So as soon as I saw that this opportunity was available, I was so excited. I signed up and I spoke to my parents, and they were so supportive of it. And I only realized kind of what it entailed once everything had been signed. And obviously, I could have pulled out if I wanted to, but I decided I was going to stick with it. And I was excited, but also nervous because it's like I'd never been to an Asian country before. And it was just something so different that I never thought that I would ever even be able to experience. I was very nervous about the physical side of things because I wasn't very much exposed to that in that at that point in my life. Um, but yeah, I think it definitely pushed me to, step out of my comfort zone and do the things that I'd been wanting to do for a while and just, kept on holding off. So yeah, I was nervous but excited, but didn't quite realize what it would entail until I'd already decided that I was going to go.
Yeah, I think the physical components of these trips is always quite a big and daunting thing. And obviously, as you got closer to that, you realize, oh, we've got to get fit. I think you guys did so well in like setting goals for yourself. What did you do to get fit and make sure that you were ready for the trip?
Yeah, so we, as a group, we did a lot of hikes in Cape Town. So we did Table Mountain, Lion's Head, yeah, Elephant's Eye many, many times. And we kind of always did okay, cool, Saturday, where are we hiking kind of thing. And that was great because we'd never been a family who went on hikes and did all those things together. So I also, did that with my family, and it was really nice to gain that motivation as a group and kind of work towards this common goal. Um, yeah, basically what I did was I was hiking and I was, getting to know everyone that I was going away with. Was getting into the gym a little bit, but that kind of snowballed into I got into that more afterwards after when I came back. But yeah, basically enjoying the nature that we had at our disposal on our doorstep as a group really motivated us to work towards this common goal that we all had.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned that you weren't much of a hiking or outdoors family. Has that changed? And I know it changed for you and your dad during the
Yeah.
has that lasted?
Absolutely. I obviously live in Stellenbosch now, and we're right at the foothills of Pitzenberg and Jonkershoek and all these lovely mountains. So I go running in the mountains very often. I am an avid jogger and gymmer. I definitely it was something that spurred my love for the nature around me, and it's something that I still do to this day. And yeah, definitely changed my perspective in that way and changed my life. I guess it's something that I derive a lot of joy from now and a lot of peace, which yeah, I love. It's definitely changed my perspective around that.
You mentioned something quite interesting, and it's fascinating because I get this a lot on the trips that we take. And you said like you didn't know many of the people that you're going with.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we took a group now recently, and it was all of the same grade. They were all grade eights. And the feedback at the end was, yeah,
Mm.
I didn't really know any of these people. You spend your 7 years in the same grade together, but don't really know them.
Yeah, yeah.
How was that for you in terms of, not, I know you also had different grades, so you really didn't know people well.
Yeah.
How was that before and how was that after?
Mm. No, it was amazing. So I didn't have any of my close friends who went with me. And I had quite a small group of close friends, admittedly. But most of the people I knew of, obviously, because we're not terribly big school, but it was, I was in grade 11 by the time we went, and grade 11 and grade 10. So the group was made up of those kind of people. And yeah, I think the friends that I made on that trip, I am still friends with to this day. And I think going on a trip for 16 days, like thousands and thousands of kilometers away from home with no phones, I think that made a huge difference. Yeah, it's lifelong friendships. And like when people say that, it sounds very cheesy, but it really is lifelong friendships. I still see most of those people on a weekly basis. And it really like changed our relationship and made us a lot closer. And I'm so glad also that I got to know people in the grade below me, because that's something that I wouldn't have really done, especially on that scale otherwise. So yeah, no, it was amazing.
Yeah, awesome. I think like that's something that I've been trying to build into these trips is actually getting students from different backgrounds and different spaces on these
Yeah.
adventures. And we've had people from France come and join an expedition, and those
Oh,
relationships,
amazing.
they're still in touch, so it's always a
We
magical
we
part of
also actually, now that I think about it, we had someone from another school who joined us on our trip.
it. Yeah.
It was kind of a last minute sign up, but he came with us, and also I still am in contact with him regularly. Yeah, no, I think it's an amazing way to get to know people, and you kind of already know that you have similar interests and similar perspectives if you're all agreeing to go on a trip like this. And so I think it's an amazing platform to get to know people who you wouldn't otherwise have, maybe sat and chatted with.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And post trip, finishing high school and then going on to university, are there any things that you've taken from those 16 days that have really like helped you with either confidence or um, you know, uh, abilities in groups? Yeah, speaking to some of those.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, I think the no phones thing, people are always scared about that, but it's actually one of I think, the cornerstones of these kinds of trips. It really forces you to become resourceful and become observant of your environment, because you can't just Google something if you don't know, where you're going or something like that. So it really forces you to use the tools at your disposal and really be creative. And so I think that's something that has always helped me in my university career, where problem solving is such a big part of my degree, and especially in my leadership roles that I had as well, really connecting with people, because I mean, that's what we did this whole trip. And just being able to connect with people who you are not necessarily very close with, but over time you build a very, very deep bond with them. Also, something that really stands out to me is I actually went on a summer school last year to Stellenbosch University. It has a bunch of bursary programs where you can go overseas for summer schools and things like that. So I went to Germany for a summer school last year, and I don't think that experience would have been as great as it was if I hadn't had this exposure to, being on your own in inverted commas, in a foreign country where you don't know anyone, and just, really having to work with what you've got and just step out and experience what is right there for you to grasp. So I think I wouldn't have been as ready or as willing to do something like that if I hadn't had this experience.